traditional alarms wake you up unnaturally. So I'm building a sunrise alarm that wakes you up gently until it doesn't.
Get up, mother.
Last time I tested all the parts for the project. This time we will work on the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connection.
At the start of this week, I faced the problem that the Bluetooth library and the Wi-Fi library were both a bit too big. So I had to choose if I use the Bluetooth library or I choose the BLE library. BLE, or Bluetooth Low Energy, is optimized for low power and sending small packets of data occasionally. Bluetooth Serial, on the other hand, maintains a constant connection for real-time data transfer, using more power but allowing continuous communication. The problem is that the Bluetooth Serial library takes up double the amount of program space as the BLE library. This is a problem that the ESP doesn't have enough space, so I already had to change the partitioning scheme. So I have to choose if I use the BLE library, which is way harder to implement programming-wise, or if I use the BLE library, which is way simpler and way better for prototyping.
So this is the code I have so far here. It's just the test for connecting the ESP to the Wi-Fi over Bluetooth. But before I'm gonna start with the actual program, I will go ahead and create a diagram of how the whole ESP itself, the Wakeup Enforcer in all of its forms, will work. So I think this looks really good as far as right now. We have basically you start out by checking if the Wi-Fi credentials are there. If not, we go into this loop. This loop is basically turning on the Bluetooth, checking for Wi-Fi credentials or receiving them, hosting the web server or starting the web server on your Wi-Fi, sending you the IP address of the server to communicate with it, stop Bluetooth, and then go back. And it will go into the loop, which is basically the main loop. This basically checks if the set time command got sent to it, which basically tells the ESP what time it is. So on your phone, when you set the time you want to wake up in the app, then your phone should send a message, a HTTP GET request, if I'm right, to the IP address we received with at the end this set time, and after that the time that you should wake up, let's say 5 a.m. And then if it received that, it will set the current wake up time, or set the wake up time you specified. I'm planning on doing that you can set multiple timers, which would make it a bit more complicated, but for now we just have one. Then the next thing it checks if the alarm got stopped. If so, if it got received, then it will stop the alarm. I guess it's easy to understand. Then after it checked all the calls for this interval, and then it will check if is current time, wake up time minus 50 minutes, which basically checks if the current time is 50 minutes before the wake up time is set. So 4:45 a.m. Then if yes, it turns on the LCD display to show the LCD display to show the emoji and the time that you have right now. The emoji, the time, and which mode you are in. Then it will check the servers again, or then it will start up the LED, which basically has the check server calls again, because we are in our loop right now, which will go on for about 50 minutes, or not about, it will go for exactly 50 minutes. And then this will check the calls in those 50 minutes, start up the LED and pump them up. If the 50 minutes are over, it starts the audio. And that's basically it. That's the functionality of the Wakeup Enforcer. Actually quite simple to understand. So let's keep moving and programming the setup part. So by now I have streamed a bit. Yesterday I wrote all of that code again. Basically, I just copied the test code that I had before over into this, made it a bit more clear, understood it way more, like a 3-hour stream. Then I went ahead and implemented the check if time was entered. This basically checks if when you open the IP address later on your phone, for example, and add the set time, and then if you add question mark, And after the question mark, you put in time equals and then the time you want to set. And then it will run the handle set time, which basically just displays the current time that it is set to. And that's how I've got what I've got so far. Then I today was also in a community call from this community called Robotics Academy, which is basically just a community from another YouTuber that makes like Arduino tutorials and so on. And there I made a post about my deadline. We were on a community call and he told me that I should set a deadline of this device. And he helped me and we created a deadline, which now is the 1st of March. And if I don't reach my goal by that point, I will have to spend 100 euros on a charity, which one I haven't chosen so far. And with that, the deadline is set, and let's move on to the next task. To show the time, I had planned to use this LCD display, but this uses background lighting, and in the night it will be really bright and probably keep you from sleeping, so this probably won't be in the finished version. But these little OLED displays will. I actually bought them, and I thought they would be as big as the LCD display, but I was wrong, and that's why they were so cheap, because they were really small. And I will use two of them. One is this one, which will just display like the hours, and this one will display the minutes. What this prototype will not have in it, it won't have a custom PCBs, and it won't have a housing, so no fancy looking housing, which I have planned for the future. This will definitely come, but not right now, as I have to get my prototype out first. And yeah, camera also won't be implemented at the moment, as I have a lot more other stuff to struggle with. And yeah, and that's basically what I've done this past week. It wasn't too much again, but from here on out I will have to continue. I have my deadline set now. I have all of my goals specified for the deadline, so I definitely know what I have to do in the next 2 weeks. If you enjoyed the video, you can always like, subscribe, whatever, you know what to do if you like it. And you can also join my free community server where you can join to network with other makers that have the same goals as you and share your progress, share problems that you have, and we can help you with that. And I see you there.